Fran Lab. 2025 is over. Surprise! Spoilers! 2025 is over, yes. And so I went back this weekend and looked at the data from 2025. Let's have a look here. We're looking at January 4th to today. Last 265 days. Here we go. This is the last year. Look how even that is, except for that spike there. That spike is the series of videos that I made back in February, Enemy of the State, the last popular video that I ever made. And then after that, look at that. There is the box. See that 20K line going straight across there? Look how evenly spaced those peaks are at about 18K a day. That is the ceiling, about 18K. That is my box. Since last February, I cannot make a video that can exceed 18K a day. That is the limit. Hard red line limit. Doesn't matter what the topic is, because I've done a couple other videos in this year, last year, that were exactly the same as that video that got me all those views on the left, but they stay confined to the 18K. That is it. That's my box. And case in point, the video that I put up yesterday, pen video. Now pen videos, they're not among my most popular, but they're certainly in like the 60 percentile. 60 to 70% of my audience like the pen videos, and it's a good thumbnail, but 39% fewer views. Why could that be? Well, let's look at the larger picture. This is the last 3 years. So this is from January 2022 through 2025. So on the far left, that's the beginning of 2022, and then we can see, like, from 2022, 2023, 2024, look at those spikes going up like 50K, 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 50K. And then we had a big one there in 2004, right? Got up to like 100 plus K. And then that peak there, 50K. The last 50K peak that I had was that video I made in February 2025 about Enemy of the State. It's just like all the other 50K peak videos that I'd made on my channel for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden it stopped. Look at that. After that last 50K, whoop, that's it. So yeah, that's the box. That's the YouTube box. So it's really got me thinking about how to keep the channel going through 2026, and maybe, if I'm fortunate, maybe 2027. Who knows, maybe I can actually stretch it out past the end of this year. Who knows? But one of the factors is thumbnails, because, I mean, there's always people who are going to say, Fran, that data is meaningless. It's just the algorithm, Fran. If your videos suck, people aren't going to watch them. It's the algorithm doing its job. So obviously, you suck. You suck. So clearly suck, you know. So, but clearly the data shows that it's not a matter of my content, because I'm making the same content now that I was making then. But look at the difference in this chart. It's just clear night and day. March last year, right there, March last year, it just changed. The algorithm changed. And this is permanent. There's nothing I can do about it. So for the algorithm side, there's two things. There's thumbnails, there's titles, and then there's content, right? I've been kind of collecting thumbnails, so I'm going to show you some thumbnails from some very popular videos from the past week. There's not going to be any description. Some of the thumbnails do have the title in the thumbnail, but most of them don't. But these are the popular videos from popular channels much bigger than mine. And I've been trying to examine the game that they're playing amongst each other, because, I mean, the biggest channels, they don't need to draw audience. They're already the biggest channels. And yet they are doing warfare against each other with thumbnails. So I want to take a look at some of these thumbnails. You tell me about what you think. And I'm showing these actual size. This is the size that it appears on your browser. So it's not like full screen. It shows this little thing right in the corner. So this is a thumbnail. Do you want to watch that video? Is the question. And what is that video about? Do you have any idea? Is it interesting to you? How about this one? Is this interesting? This is actually one that actually tells you the title. But seeing the title in the thumbnail, does that make the thumbnail any easier to understand? I don't know. How about this one? Find me. Do you want to find it? I don't know. Do you want to click on that? How about this one? It's a secret. Are you interested? Does it captivate you? Are you going to click on that video? I don't know. How about this? This is stupid. Is it? What is it about? I don't know. It's obviously something stupid. But then there's this other thing where some channels are just going right for sex and double entendres, especially the young ingenue channels. If you're young and coquettish and wink wink nudge nudge, does this captivate you? Or this one? Unsafe. Is it unsafe? I don't know. Do you want to click that video? These kind of thumbnails are definitely geared towards a very specific audience. Definitely. But, I came to think, well, you wouldn't really have to debate about the idea that the big channels, they're using AI to maximize their thumbnails for impact. So color, contrast, spacing, size of text, faces, arrangement of items in the thumbnail, it's all being optimized with AI. Because the AI bots, they have massive data sets. They've looked at millions of thumbnails. They've compared to millions of videos. They know exactly what kind of thumbnails get appeal. They know about the psychology of the viewer. And a lot of these thumbnails, they're very centric to the specific viewer. So they're age-centric, they're gender-centric. They're looking to appeal to very specific people in very specific demographics. They're looking to get people of a very specific age, race, sex, gender, etc. So the thumbnail wars really seem to be geared towards maximizing viewership for certain channels within their framework. They know their demographic, they know their audience, and they're targeting the thumbnails specifically to the majority of the audience that they know they already have, because they're battling against each other. The big channels only have one competitor, and that's the next biggest channel. So this made me wonder, it's like, well, for a channel like mine, a little puny little insignificant channel, what chance do I have to break out of the algorithm, even if I weren't in the algorithm box, which I definitely 100% are. I definitely am in that 18K box, no question about that. But if I weren't in that box, how would I even break out if I didn't have an AI maximized thumbnail? At this point, I probably couldn't. You probably can't. You probably can't compete in the open sea of thumbnails without an AI optimized thumbnail. Probably can't be done, I don't know, but I've got to try some new strategies this year. I've got a crazy idea that I'm going to make a decision on this week about whether or not to do. It's crazy, but I might just do it, just for science's sake. But I'm not going to talk about it, because that would defeat the purpose of being an experiment. So, yeah, more to come. That's where I work. In the lab. Go berserk. In my lab. That's where I work.